How do you get to be 94 years old? No, not me. Baby pecan trees, you just gotta love them. You see this right here? You see this right here? That's a little cluster of 5 improved pecans right there. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the size of them. That's how big they are in July. Now, these things right here, these trees are really not big enough to shake. We'll come up here and hand pick a few of these and just keep them for ourselves because these trees won't have very many pecans on them anyway. But you can look at trees, I don't know, 20 or 30 feet tall. But that's the size of them. Those pecans will be like this big. They'll be like huge pecans. They'll be huge. All right, let's look at our catch of the day for July 2nd. July 2nd, we're going to be in the book of Jude. Jude 2, 4. 2 before. That's the way Chris gets my attention. It's with the 2 before. Whop. Okay, babe, what do you need? God is strong and can help you to not fall. God is strong and he can help you to not fall. This is a great story right here. I saw the first of it. I know what the rest of it is. I can just tell the story without even reading it, but let me read it to you. When Gus Roten was 95 years old, 95, I think I said 94, but when he was 95 years old, I took him fishing one summer. The lake was high, and for us to get from the bank up to the dock where we could get on the boat was in the boat dock, we had to walk a warped 2 by 12 plank for about 10 feet. That plank's still there, by the way. When he saw it, he simply and emphatically said, no. And I told him, I said, Doc, we called him Doc or Gus. I said, Doc, I said, you're going to have to walk across that board if you're going to go fishing. He said, no. And I said, Doc, let me tell you, you got to walk across that board or you can't go. That's the only way you can get on the boat right there. And he said, no. And I said, listen to me, Gus. I said, there's the only way you can go. If you're going to go fishing with Tubby and me, that's his son, Jerry. If you're going to go fishing with Tubby and me, you're going to have to walk across that. And again, he just looked at me and said, no. Finally, Tubby and I assured him that we would wade in the water along both sides of him and would not let him fall. He walked the plank, he got in the boat, and he caught several nice bass. As a matter of fact, we caught 49 bass that evening, 49 bass. Gus told us that he didn't get to be 95 by being stupid. So that's how you get to be 95 years old, by not being stupid. It's such a cool deal. We don't need to be stupid about God. He's able to hold us in safety no matter what the circumstances or how high the water. When we really trust him completely, God will not let us fall. One of my buddies here on our YouTube channel and our Facebook friend, Jerry, is always saying that God is continually asking you, do you trust me? Do you really, really trust me? And he puts that in a lot of his comments, and I think that's what God's asking him sometimes when he doubts or when he tries to do things on his own. God's saying, do you trust me? Do you really, really trust me? And just like Gus Roten would not walk across that plank because he was just so afraid he would fall one way or the other, fall into the water. It wasn't very deep. He just didn't want to fall in the water. But he would fall in the water. But once Jerry and I said we would get on both sides of him and wade out there so he could make that 10 or 12 feet out to the actual boat dock, he completely trusted us. And he knew positively we wouldn't let him fall. We were not going to let him fall. And it's what it says right here too. God will never let you fall. He will never let you fall. You'll have some circumstances where you think you've fallen. You'll have some circumstances and situations when you think that you're poor old Job, poor pitiful me, the world's turned against me, everything's going wrong, got a bad doctor's report, lost my job, lost a bunch of speaking appearances, can't make enough money to pay the bills, on and on and on and on. God will not let us fall. He just will not let us fall. All right, here's our tip for today. This is a good one too. Share a day of fishing with a senior citizen. The blessing will be yours. And that's just a fantastic tip there, because there are so many senior citizens that love to fish, but they get to a point in their life where they simply can't go by themselves. They may not have a boat. They may not be able to even drive themselves down to the lake and fish off the bank. And so when you take them fishing, it's fantastic. You know, my dad died at a relatively young age. You know, he was 68 years old. He was still able to go fishing by himself, hooked his Ranger boat up, took it, still guiding, as a matter of fact, before he had that last trouble with his heart that finally got him. But he was able to do it. And, you know, I'm quite a bit older than my dad was when he died. And yet I'm still able to go by myself, and I'd go do everything, hook the boat up and everything. But there's guys even my age, even my dad's age when he died, that couldn't go. Some of them were not able to drive, maybe for some reason or other. A lot of them just simply can't go. They can't take the boat, put it in the water, launch it, go fishing. Can't even go down and fish off the dock or something. I can remember one of my uncles, Uncle John, he came down here one time when he was really old, and he couldn't hardly get out on the boat. It wasn't too awful long before he died. And he sat down on the dock and caught catfish after catfish after catfish. That was before we lost the lake and we had a catfish in it. And I don't know, he must have caught 30 or 40. And he'd sit there and watch that rod tip. He loved to catfish. He'd rather catch a catfish than a bass any day. He'd watch that rod tip, and boy, when them catfish bit it, he'd snatch them and catch them every time. I took my Uncle Gene down here a lot before he died. And my dad died before we got this ranch right here. He would have just absolutely been in heaven if he had this ranch. If he had just got to run around and do what I'm doing right now, standing amongst of 100 baby pecan trees. This is my baby trees right here. This is what Chris said used to be the graveyard, because that's what it looked like, with a bunch of little sticks. But look at it now. Look at it now. All those beautiful baby pecan trees are just gorgeous. And we've got to kill this grass around the base. We'll probably do that in the next week or two, and they'll shoot up even more this summer. So take a senior citizen fishing. The blessing will be yours. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one. Remember, I love you.